Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of the Sharing Club podcast. My name's Danielle.
And I'm Natalie.
And with us we have John from the Body Circuit.
Hello, thank you
Hi.
for having me on.
You're welcome. In this edition, we're going to be discussing all things exercise and how it has a positive impact on our mental health.
Yeah, and when you don't train or do any kind of exercise, whether it be walking even, how that impacts how you're feeling, which it does for me.
Well, yeah. And
There
it
you go.
certainly does for me, doesn't it? You can normally tell the difference if I've not trained, like I've not done any for a few weeks, and then you didn't hear from me, and then if you don't hear from me, if I've gone quiet.
That's it. There's something there. That's it, yeah. And you know yourselves as well, it's that knock-on effect from yourselves, you know yourself that you've got quiet, or you pull yourself back from exercise or whatever it might be. Food usually goes out the window too as well, doesn't it? So
yeah, if I'm not training, then my eating goes to pot. I'll eat anything. Literally junk.
And everything in my case. Anything and everything.
Too much of everything.
The seafood diet.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. I've seen heard that before, yeah.
Oh, we're all
Anything you see,
guilty
you
of
have.
that, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely are, yeah.
Yeah. So, well, you've known me for a long time, haven't you? Because I've been training with you for 10 years. So you definitely know
Long time.
how much it helps me and the impact it can have.
What kind of training do you enjoy doing, Danielle?
Me, I lift weight. I used to swim years ago. Obviously, well, we had a swimming pool at school, which was pretty disgusting.
It was minging.
I think all swimming pools are, aren't they? They're horrible. They're just like a
Probably got ill from that pool.
Yeah, I won't name the school. I don't want to get in trouble. But there's levels of disgusting, and if you had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, it would be at 100 in terms of how disgusting that pool really. And I think it still is, to be fair, because they still use it.
Oh God.
Oh, dear me.
But yeah, I used to swim, and I used to swim outside school, and I used to do 100 legs a week, a time 4 times a week. But it wrecked my shoulders, and I ended up having to have surgery for torn rotator cuffs. So then I didn't do anything for a few years. Met John because I worked with him. And we started to do circuit, and then he went, try lifting some weights. And I looked at him like he was mental. Literally, like, are you on the planet to me? But actually, as much as I'll question it, whatever else, I always give it a go, and I'll always try.
And I think you actually ended up, I was going to say loving it, but really enjoying it, or would you say?
No, I do love it. I don't think I'd push myself. I don't think you'd push yourself as much as you do if you didn't love something like that, because your body really is taking a battering, isn't it? I mean, I was training for a powerlifting competition, like my deadlifts. I've lifted, 125k. I don't think you put your body through that kind of weight if you didn't enjoy it.
No, that's it. And that's the main point, isn't it? Is enjoying what you do. It's important that you find something that you do enjoy doing, because you'll stay consistent with it. Yeah, that's it. You remain consistent with it then, and you can keep pushing on from there. But I think your body weight was down to around 55 kilos, I think, and then you were deadlifting 125 kilos. So they always say, deadlift wise, in the strength thing, if you can kind of lift double your body weight, you're classed as strong, where you were lifting more than that anyway. So
very impressive, Danielle.
Great spot, yeah.
I know. I've hit my 100k, didn't I? Right in the middle of lockdown, that third lockdown.
That's right.
On Zoom with you in my loft at my back in my old house, literally. Had to go to work after that, like buzzing, thinking I don't want to be in work now. I just want to enjoy the moment. I've just lifted 100k.
Yeah, there you go.
Put me under undue pressure because we hadn't planned to do it, had we? And Jen was on that morning. So it wasn't just me and you. Jen was watching, and I was like, if I don't hit this now, I'm going to look absolutely stupid.
Bit of pressure, yeah.
The pressure helps though, doesn't it?
Yeah. But whatever, it was definitely better than the 10k you made me run to raise money for the Christie. So
that's right, yeah. We'll say, you've just got to find things that fit the gap. And like we're saying, it's important that you keep that consistent element going. I think you've got a tennis elbow at one point, didn't you? So that's why I ended up with the run.
Yes. There's always something. If I'm doing well with my training, my body will come along and say, you're having it too easy. I'm going to stop you doing that now.
Throw a spanner in the works.
Absolutely. So slip discs, sciatic nerve, rotator cuff's gone again, just had to have a cortisone injection. There's always something. But We
Always
do
find a way
work
around.
around it, don't we? And
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's important to keep you ticking over and keep you going.
yeah. So I just avoided upper body for a bit, but hopefully we can start.
Introducing it slowly again. Yeah.
Yes, I'm back on deadlifts. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm just been distracted by the dog.
Not sure what she's doing.
She's trying to climb up the shed.
Like you do.
Doing some exercise. There you go.
Yeah, she was actually.
Joining
She
it.
was stretching.
So, and what about you?
I think for me as well, I was just thinking, I think swimming is excellent for people who have health conditions like myself.
Massively. Yeah.
But the problem I've got is, and I'm sure I'm not the only, especially with women, I'm sure I'm not the only woman, to go in a public pool in your swimwear, for me, when you feel so out of shape, it's a massive thing. And if you've got anxiety, it can be huge. Like for me, that's what stops me going. Because I always think everyone's looking, and in reality, nobody cares what I look like.
Yeah, they probably,
and I know that. And I know
Yeah.
that, but it's so difficult because you
Of course
just
it is.
feel. I mean, I remember being a kid and being really, really, really quite skinny and making my mum stand at the side of the pool with a towel, you know,
Right,
like
yeah.
for me to get out. And she's like, "You're ridiculous." But I
Yeah.
think if you, well, she was, but I think if you like that, you like that all the time.
I think that
Yeah,
goes
that's it.
anything though, doesn't it, with fitness? I mean, before lockdown and COVID kicked in, and I was, you know, training with you some days and at the gym to do my other sessions. And there'd be times I'd be in that car park and it'd be busy, and I'd be messaging him going, "I can't do this. I can't go in that gym into that weight room at the back with all the men." The anxiety
I
just went through the
understand
roof.
that.
Yeah.
And you were
that's it.
like, you just have to do it. No one is watching you.
Yeah.
Not
that's
Ali,
it,
in
exactly.
reality, they're not, because everyone's just interested in what they're doing for themselves, and nobody cares what you look
Yeah,
like.
that's
or-
in reality that is the
Yeah.
case. Yeah, but it is your self-doubts, isn't it, that sometimes
Yeah.
creep in a little bit, and it's one of those where you kind of, as a personal trainer, you try and break down the barriers, but it's trying to highlight the point. Well, actually, no, we need to find an alternative instead. So, there are some women-only gyms, women-only swims, and things like that, which might help.
For me, I'm even paranoid with the women as well.
With women as well. Yeah,
I
probably
actually find
more
women are
than men.
worse.
Yeah.
Women are more judgmental of other women.
Genuinely,
Yeah.
as it happens, once I got over that initial fear of going into the gym, into that weight room, I actually found when there was other women in there training, the atmosphere was far worse than when it was just me with men in there. They were definitely more, you definitely felt more judged by other women.
Yeah.
He's not saying a word, he's not getting involved.
I am not commenting on that one.
Well, that's sad, isn't it? Because
It is sad.
exercise is meant to help so much with mental health. To have that anxiety that stops you from going into a public place to do some.
Yeah.
But that's
why
where
we're all
maybe,
about empowering women.
Yeah.
Well, that's where maybe like group type training would come into it. So small group, I think they do like small group swimming sessions and things like that. If you're in a gym, maybe a small group exercise class or something like that. And you want to be getting to that point then where that group becomes your friendship group as well. I mean, that's another point of exercise as well. It's making new friends, and when you make new friends that have the same interests and goals or similar goals as you do, that helps for you to stay more consistent, and you rely on each other then.
I think
Because
that's,
everyone's got to that point where, "Oh, I can't be bothered going tonight," and then your mate rings you up and says, "You going to gym tonight?" You go, "Yeah, go on then," and you keep each other going. So there are a few small group elements out there, but it's about building friendships or bringing friendships that you've already got into it as well, and that would help.
that
pull you
is so
through
true,
different
isn't
things.
it? I mean, I know it's certainly back in the beginning, especially when you started classes up in Whitefield near me. It wasn't just women, but it started off with me and Sarah Coverdale, as you know her, because we used the Hollands Community Centre, so I put John in touch with her about the space to use for his sessions. But through that, she knew people, and we built up this group, didn't we? And it grew, and we all became friends. It became a massive social thing, and some of those friends now are some of my closest friends. Like Amanda, who me and John were talking about earlier, she's become one of my closest friends because of it, and we support each other through everything. And we'd have never had that if it wasn't for the body circuit and those classes. And even through lockdown, when you switch to Zoom and it's still going, those friendships are still there and those classes are still there, and that it's another positive impact, isn't it?
Yeah, massively so. Yeah, it is, and that's where you get a good class from. I mean, this is where probably some of the gyms are let down by it, because the gyms are so big, they have that many classes that it loses that connection with.
Personal.
Yeah, it's not as personal. So you have a different, you'll have a different trainer every session. You know, you don't get that consistency with the trainer and, you know, the group of people that are there. So yeah, that's where kind of private sessions are probably better, I would say.
I think it'd be really good. I mean, obviously, we spoke briefly about this earlier, that, you know, everybody's health conditions are different and differ, so not everything's right for each person. But I think if you've got a group, because I know a few people who've got similar like illnesses or issues to me, and I think if we could get into a routine where we were doing some kind of physical modified exercise together, that would be really good. Because if you were in a group with people who are, say, more able than you, but you know what I mean by saying more able, it'd probably make me feel worse, because I feel inadequate. Do you know, like, oh, look what they can do and I'm struggling and I've got to do this modified one and they're all doing such a thing. Whereas if you're with a group of people who are similar to you, that would be really, really good.
She should just come on our Zoom session, on your Zoom classes, because we're all moaning about aches and ailments and
They all moan.
Would that fit right in?
Honestly, they moan not. It's more like an
I bet I'd moan the least. I bet I'd moan the least.
I don't moan on class. I very rarely speak on class, to be fair.
Yeah, you're quite quiet.
It's quite good because it is on Zoom. You don't even have to have the video on.
Yeah, so it's you
can get that way. But that's where then you try, and if you've got a go-to person, it's where you build goals then as well. So I think it's very important, very healthy for people to have a specific goal. I try and introduce people to a main goal, so whatever that might be, and then it's about making little goals in between that in order to get to that main goal. So where you were saying there, then if it was different ability groups, you know, you'd be more focused, hopefully, on your progressive plan. You know, from a coaching element, if you can get anybody who's in, it might be new to exercise, or you might be someone who's been doing it for years, but if you can get someone on a goal plan where they're regularly ticking off goals that they've hit, again, they're going to stay more consistent, they're going to buy into it, they're going to be enjoying it more because they feel that sense of achievement. And I think that's part of the exercise journey too. People set these big goals sometimes that they're reachable, but it could take 1 to 2 years to get there. So it's important.
Me with the powerlifting competition.
Yeah, that's it. But then if you look at that, we used to break that down to, well, we're going to look at your 80 kg deadlift, or, you know, and you'd have little wins on the way. And it's that self-esteem, that fulfillment, that happiness. And, you know, so maybe that would be beneficial if you're in a group of people where you might feel inadequate. I don't know. But it's one way of potentially looking at it.
Yeah, for me, I think every time we'd get to like the end of that 12-week cycle and you'd hit a new PB, even though you're not at that level, obviously with me because of injury, and it's set me back to do the competition. But every time you hit a new PB, it makes you feel good. You feel like you've accomplished something, and that does give you a high, doesn't it? That first time I hit 100 kg deadlift, even though I've lifted heavier than that now, nothing will ever top the feeling I got when I hit triple digits. It's probably one of the best mental health boosts I've ever had, and knowing I was able to do that.
It's about trying to get that focus on yourself as well, and you're in competition with yourself. You're not in competition with anybody else. And you know, that's where I think I'm not going to go too much in social media because it's a nightmare, but that's where social media lets everybody down, because everyone brushes the photos and this, that, and the other. But it's about being in competition with yourself. It really doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. If you can improve, then that's a massive win. All right. It doesn't matter if you can run half a mile and you manage to do a mile. That is a massive improvement, you know, but people might compare that to someone who runs a marathon, but it's irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant. It's about focusing on yourself, looking at those goals and being in competition with yourself, healthy competition with yourself, just trying to improve yourself. Any fitness program that you're going to do needs to have some sort of progression in there. You know, again, relating back to goals, you know, you need to just try and improve yourself and edge yourself on that a little bit more each time. So,
and also, but every time you hit those goals, it helps your mental health, doesn't it? But physically helps your mental health. I mean, like the physical effects of exercise when you do it well has that.
Yeah, and it's not just obviously the physical element of it. I mean, we can delve into that a little bit. But in terms of the mental health stuff, I mean, it massively improves, reduces stress. So cortisol levels, as soon as you exercise, they drop anyway. So like we mentioned earlier, we've all been in that point where you know there's an exercise class coming up and you think, oh God, I don't want to go. And then when you're in the class or whatever it is you're doing, you think, oh my God, this is hard work. And then afterwards, you always feel really good for doing it. Endorphins, it's like a free drug, makes you feel good all the time, and it's free, and you just got to go and do it. You know what I mean? So I don't think anybody's ever regretted doing some form of exercise. Maybe when they were doing it or before they were doing it, but afterwards.
I might disagree that I didn't regret it last Saturday evening, 24 hours after my last session with you, when I literally thought the toilet was on the floor and I couldn't sit down without being in absolute agony.
Yeah. Oh, the joys.
But no, it's like, seriously, it's like a good ache, isn't it? Because you've done something positive and you've moved. But the pain last Saturday was unreal. I'm surprised your ears weren't burning because I was literally cursing you.
I'm used to it. They're constantly burning.
Well, it makes you more motivated in other aspects of your life as well, doesn't it? If your mental health's been impacted by the exercise, it makes you more productive in every area of your life. So
yeah, it does. Yeah, because it helps to boost mood, doesn't it? Decrease anxiety, helps to fight depression and all that kind of stuff. But it depends who you've got around your circle as well. Parents, sons, kids, or nieces and nephews, or friends, or whatever. And it's sometimes setting examples to other people as well of, well, this is what I do, and this is how we do it, and this is how I feel, and trying to incorporate other people into it too.
Yeah.
I mean, when I did core class last week, and it was my first session in about 6 weeks, and I messaged you afterwards, didn't I? And I said, I genuinely, because I've been ill and haven't done anything, I genuinely forgot how much better I feel afterwards for doing it, even just core class. And like the energy I had for the rest of the day, and that feeling so much better and so much more focused, and I was able to go on and do stuff and get stuff done, and just not for the first time feel like I wanted to just sink into my anxiety and my depression. It gave me a boost for the rest of the day.
Yeah, it does.
I am capable of doing something.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. And like we've just reverted to back before, it doesn't matter what it is that you do. Any form of exercise is good exercise. In terms of we were mentioning before, exercise doesn't need to be this set thing where you go to the gym or whatever. It could be gardening, it could be any physical aspect, washing your car. It could be, playing with your kids or grandkids or nieces and nephews or whatever. Any physical exertion, any physical exercise is exercise. I think we get locked up sometimes. We have to go to the gym or we have to run, and it's not that. There's so many different options.
Just going to shut. Can you hear the kids outside?
No, talking about kids. Lovely, because it's half term.
Yeah, that's a neighbour's kids, but
they're singing a bit of Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's a lovely rendition, but just maybe not right now.
Not at the right time. Yeah.
I don't think it picked it up, to be fair.
Oh dear. But it also helps with sleep too. That's another massive element to health is sleep, and it's one that's probably not thought about or thought enough of. Because if we are tired, that will have that negative effect on other things, especially related with mental health. So exercise does help to improve sleep as well, and it's like a nice vicious circle, if you will, where if you can exercise, you'll sleep better. You'll exercise, you'll sleep better. You'll exercise, sleep better, and it's getting into that good routine, which will help pay off. But sleep's massively underrated.
They always link sleep, don't they, to people who suffer are prone to putting weight on. They say if you don't get enough hours in a day, you're more prone to putting weight on. I don't know if that's true, but I have heard that many times.
Yeah, there are elements to it. I mean, the tireder you are, or the less energy you've got in your body, whether that's through food or from rest, naturally, without you knowing it, naturally your body will move less. So where I'm talking now, I know you can't see me, but my arm's moving at the moment. And
I can see your arms.
Huh?
I talk with my hands.
So do
don't
I.
You talk with your hands, but
Yeah.
if you were tired or if you were lacking of energy, you'll probably, unbeknown to you, but you probably won't use your hands as much. You
Oh, I'm
know,
going to have to
and
look out for that now.
Yeah.
it's just little things like that where the body is very, very clever at adapting to what it needs to in order to survive, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is true.
To
Yeah,
conserve your energy a bit.
yeah, conserve the energy for
Yeah.
the most important things. Yeah.
Yeah. So for
So,
me, I just put weight on and sleep all day. So
That is so not true.
I don't struggle with my sleep, believe
You
me.
see, I'm the opposite. I'm a terrible sleeper.
So,
I'm always asleep.
both of you then, how are your sleep patterns? Are you, so ideally, what you want to try and do is try and go to bed at the same time, try and get up at the same time. Try not to have like blue light before bed, so TV, phones, tablets, and all that. I know I'm guilty of it. But, try and put them away an hour before you go to bed so you can relax before you go to sleep. Because when you look at blue light, is it melatonin? I think it's melatonin, but it makes you come back awake again, therefore making it hard to go to sleep. So, what are your sleep patterns like?
See, I
Do
always
you are
read
you on your
before I
phones
go
before
to
bed?
bed. No, I always read.
Reading's
Yeah.
brilliant before bed.
Reading
Yeah,
is good.
I read and I'll have like classic. I'm really sad. Or some people think I'm really sad, but I have classic FM on in the
That's not
background.
sound.
Because I
great.
find
Yeah,
classical music really, really soothing, and I'll put it because I have my smart speaker, and I'll just tell her to turn herself off after so many hours so I can fall asleep with that on. But I've not got any screens or anything
that's
in
good.
my
Yeah,
room. Having
yeah.
said that, I am a terrible sleeper, and it'll take me ages to fall asleep, even with
Yeah.
all that. And then normally by about 3:30, I wake up and I can't get back to sleep. And
Yeah.
I get to a certain point, like this morning, I think it got to about 6:30 and I just gave up and I was like, why am I fighting this? I may as well just get up and turn my laptop on and do stuff. It's like
Yeah.
7 o'clock this morning, I'd already designed the social media post to say this podcast is going live and it's already done, ready to go and scheduled because
Yeah.
I was awake. How sad's
At
that?
least you're productive with it.
Oh yeah, that's it. You weren't
Not
laying
like me, if
there,
I wake up in the middle of the night, I just go doom scrolling on my phone. Like, I wish I looked like her. Oh, look at
Oh
him.
no.
He's doing well. He's doing well.
No, I try not to do that because I know it's like you said earlier, social media, it's like a highlight reel. It's not true, is it? People are only
No,
showing you
it's
what they
true.
want to see.
I don't. I'm very real on mine. Probably the way my face. Oh, bless her. Like I'm not like her.
You put stuff on your personal page, on your like
No, I don't do it
visibility
on my
page,
personal, only because a friend of mine actually said to me once, you need to stop posting about your illness and things like that. I said, I do it to like raise awareness. And she
Yeah.
said, well, I find it very, very depressing. So can you not?
Ooh,
I'd have told
So
her
I was
to
like,
herself.
and she did that
Delete.
on my birthday night out as well.
delete, remove. They do say though with social media, remove all the negative people off it.
Mm,
I mean, how many people
yeah.
on social media do you see that kind of chase numbers, don't they? Followers and friends and
Yeah.
all that. It's just like, no, you're better off with like 5 people on it. You
True.
know, the
5 genuine people who support you.
On your personal
yes,
page, yeah, just not on your business page where you need people.
yeah, that's different. That yeah,
That's
but
different.
personally, yeah, you want to surround yourself with the right people. You know,
Who was I
so
talking to the other day? I can't remember who else. We were talking about when you're doing something like we're doing the sharing hub party thing. And I was saying like, you ask like all your closest friends or people, family or people around you, please can you just share that? Or will you support it? Will you come to the event? And
yeah,
everyone goes silent and nobody shares it. And I'm like, what's that all about?
yeah,
You're not asking
strange,
for
isn't it?
money, are you? You're just
Because-
asking somebody to
no,
share a post.
Because when it's the other way around, I always try and support or in any way I can, try and support them, sponsor them, share the post, anything
Yeah.
to try and help them. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's a strange one, isn't it? Yeah.
There it is. But I'm not the only person to experience that. I can't remember who I had the conversation with, but they were agreeing with me saying, oh yeah, I found that as well.
How much?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's sad, isn't it? And also now the algorithms make it really difficult.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
do.
your friends don't see anything on it because it's all
No,
sponsored
Facebook
pages.
anyway. Business wise, Facebook, yeah. Facebook's not the best for that anymore.
No, but anyway, we're going off topic here.
We
We
are.
are now.
That's my fault.
Back onto exercise.
No, we do this all the time every Friday. I'm very good at procrastinating and distracting him from a training. answer.
But yeah, so exercise wise, so we were talking before about like mobility and things like that. I mean, in terms of any health issues or mobility issues that anybody's got, this types of stuff it's just generic stuff, I mean, go and speak to GP and stuff first and get some proper advice from them before you do anything. But there's, like I was saying before, there's so many different options for exercise that you can do, whether it be at home or in the gym. You know, you've got, if you're at home, you can do chair exercises. So whether you sat on a chair with some little weights, you know, you can use the chair for balance. So like you mentioned before, we've got swimming. You can do like swimming aerobics and stuff like that, I think.
Yeah.
So that's a good way of taking pressure off your joints as well, but you're still getting the resistance of the water. Because a lot of it, like we mentioned, is resistance. You know, what we need to be doing is pushing ourselves a little bit. I mentioned before about progression and progressing things. And I mean, what it all boils down to for me as a personal trainer is to try and get muscles moving, try and improve strength. Um, and not to a point where, I mean, when you mention that to some people, they think, oh my God, no, I'm not doing that. I don't want big muscles and I don't want to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And it's, you never
Especially
will be.
women.
Yeah, they do, yeah, and you never will be. And I mean, a lot of that boils, I mean, a lot of people you see on social media are probably have got help from other places, if you will, you know,
I know exactly what you
to achieve the
mean.
physiques that they've got. And again,
Looks.
delete all those types of people off social media. But um, you know, in terms of moving weight and lifting weight, you're never going to get that big. You're never going to get bulky, and especially the older you get, you
Yeah.
know, hormones change, the harder it becomes to build muscle anyway. So, but the health implications of resistance training. So, like I said before, it doesn't have to be weights. It can be in a swimming pool. It can be walking, gardening, anything. Um, is strength, improving strength. By improving your strength, you'll also improve your strength around your joints as well. So your joints will become a little bit more stable. So if you have, I don't know, arthritis or any joint pain or anything like that, then building the strength in the muscles around that joint will help take pressure off it. Won't get rid
Yeah.
of it, but it will help take pressure off it and it'll help to ease the pain a little bit. It also helps to improve bone density as well, bone strength and things like that. And it's about longevity as well. You know, you want to get to that point where everyday life is nice and straightforward.
Yeah.
And
You know, and
comfortable.
that's like getting up and downstairs, you know, getting on off the toilet, getting in and out of the bath, putting your shopping away, carrying the kids, sorting the dog out. You know what I mean? All
Yeah.
that type of stuff needs to become as easy as possible for everybody. And
Yeah.
it's however you navigate to get to that point, really. So, yeah,
And if you're
all
in
sorts
I
of different things
suppose
to
if
choose
you're
from.
physically strong and in good shape physically, then that in itself improves your mental health because you're not constantly battling your body, are you, physically? It's one less drain on you mentally.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, yeah. It's like I'm saying, it's that cycle again, isn't it? Of exercising and training, and then sleep will be in there as well, and then you're feeling good as well, and then you're surrounding yourself with the right people, and you need to get into that loop really, and sometimes you get out of it, you know. But to get into that loop as well, you need to set yourself out of your kind of comfort zone. That's another thing that we get stuck in is that comfort zone, and mental health. It's we just need to step out of that, and there's a whole different
Yeah.
world available to you that would help
It's
to improve
true.
different things.
It's true, isn't it? I know, like, if my mental health dips, if I don't train, then getting back into it's even harder because you don't want to get back out of your routine. You sort of get stuck in that little rut, don't you? And it's about getting outside, pushing yourself and getting out of it and starting again. But it's very hard.
Yeah.
To do that one session to get you back into it. And I always say it's like, for me, it's discipline over motivation.
Oh yeah, definitely. Motivation gets you started. Discipline will keep you consistent throughout. And that's where a lot of people will get motivation to start because you see a lot of people, especially the new year, they'll start a new this or they'll start that, or so the
Yeah,
motivation will be
me.
there, and after 3, 4, 5 weeks, the motivation drops and the discipline isn't there for it to continue and it just stops. So yeah,
Yeah.
discipline is
Yeah,
massive.
I'm very aware of it. At the moment, my discipline's kicking in. I was really good last week and I got back in after not doing it for weeks because of illness. I did 3 sessions and I've done core this week, but I know I still need to do my lower body session, my deadlifts, and I should really do class at the weekend. And it's I know that discipline is going to have to come to make me do it because if I don't, that I'm never going to build that habit back of doing it and being consistent with it. So I need to find.
You probably regret it as well, won't you? If you don't.
I do regret it. The amount of times I'll say, if I don't do it, I know I'm going to regret it, and then I don't, and I feel shit the rest of the day because I know I should have done it and I'd have felt much better for it. So although I moaned when he told me what time class is going to be, there's part of me that knows I'm going to have to force myself to set my alarm and get up and do it, because otherwise that discipline's going to go and I won't get back into my routine. And I know I need that routine to help my mental health, because otherwise it's going to go rapidly down, especially next week when time of the month kicks in.
You need it.
I definitely need it. And I'm sure he'll look forward to my moaning that I can't do it because I don't have the strength.
That's what I'm here for. But it's a good coping mechanism as well, isn't it? Can let out a bit of anger while you're training as well sometimes, and that helps to sometimes make you feel that little bit better.
It's my safety zone. I know when I train, I can do lots of other things. I could read, I could bake if I'm in a bad place. But that noise never switches off that's in your head. Whereas when I train, especially if I'm lifting weight like my deadlifts, I know that for that hour, I can be there and I'm concentrating and I'm focused, and I just silence that inner noise. It's nothing else. It's me and the bar, or me with John in a room pushing me and telling me to get on with it and to stop wasting time. But that inner noise has disappeared and I feel better for it. I have like an hour of just calm and peace.
I know what you mean, because I said to you, I try and go for a walk every day. Depending on how well I am, some will be longer than others. But even a 20-minute walk for me, it does me the world of good. I feel so much better afterwards mentally.
Yeah.
Because when some people say, well, are you not like thinking when you're walking? No, I'm just in the moment looking at my surroundings.
It's when you sat still, isn't it? If you sat still in your comfort zone, your mind runs wild, doesn't it? But when you get out and about, fresh air as well, scenery, everything else, you can take yourself wherever you want then, can't you?
I think as well, I mean, you won't mind me saying, my dad struggles terribly with his mental health, and he has done from me being quite a little girl. He's a manic depressive, and when we lost my mum, he just became a recluse, really. He doesn't leave the house, and he just lies on the couch all day. And then a couple of weeks ago, I had to go with him somewhere, and I was so aware that it makes you so old so quickly, they're not moving. He'd take like 4 steps and he'd be like aching and breathless, and so he's a really good advocate for me, like to push myself, because I don't want to. He doesn't mind because we've had this conversation. Sorry, Dad. But I don't want to end up like that. Old before your time, because you've not moved and you've not mixed and you're not in the fresh air. It has an impact on everything. I mean, his health's dire at the moment.
And it relates.
Sunlight.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. And it relates back to what we said before then about making everyday life easy.
Yeah.
If you look at people that do training, again, it doesn't have to be ridiculous amounts of training and doing all these mad things. It can just be anything. But those people that are consistent with the training and the movement, are physically fitter and physically more healthier. So it's a good way of comparing the two there.
Yeah,
well, it's like you say as well. It's an hour a day, so many times a week, and in the scheme of a week, it's very little time, is it? And everybody can, if they really want to, can find the time to.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly. And again, it boils down to that individual of how much they actually need to do. And somebody that's very new to exercise, half an hour a week.
Yeah.
It's about progression, making the improvements, getting started. And again, doesn't have to be anything big and extravagant, just something really small, something you enjoy, and then something you can build on and get better at. But a knock-on effect of that is then improve stress levels, self-esteem will be better, anxiety should improve as well. And then, like we said, surrounding yourselves with the right people, whether that be for exercise or social media, friends, and
It all helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
It does massively,
And you just have to, I think you have to push past that first point where you first started. If you've not exercised for a while, you're going to wake and it's going to be really hard, isn't it? And your fitness levels, and like when we first started doing it in classes and stuff, those first few weeks, because I stopped swimming and I was like adamant, well, if I can't swim, I'm not doing anything else. when I finally started, I was so stubborn. When I finally started, it was like, this is torturous. I'm aching constantly. And I used to dread doing it. And then it got to, okay, I know I can do it. And it was relief afterwards. And then that relief was like, actually, that felt good. And it's your mindset slowly changed. You went from dread to relief at the end to actually I'm enjoying this. To, yeah, this is really helping me. And you can see that progress mentally as well as physically.
Yeah, that's it, massively. Yeah, it's a bit of education too, of understanding why you're feeling in certain ways as well. You know, so again, surrounding yourself with the right people and the right education is good. Because yeah, someone who is inactive and they start exercising will be sore, lots of muscle soreness, but that's a good thing. You know, it shows you've done something and your body adapts to that. You know, initially it's just central nervous system adapting to, you know, what's changed. Because no matter what you do, if you're new to something, you will improve at it dead quickly over the first 4, 5, 6 weeks, and then it will start to plateau a bit. That's just nervous system adapting to what it can do, because the body can do quite a lot. But yeah.
And it's good, isn't it? And it's like, if you're doing it in a class as well, or in a group, like you've said, like for me, especially having you as my trainer, I mean, because we used to work, you know me well anyway, but it's having somebody hold me accountable.
Yeah.
And I know I have to do it. And I know it, like, you know, I've been ill, so I've not been able to do anything. But on the whole, like with my food as well, you'll go, you've not sent your numbers, or you've not done this. Why? I know he'll be messaging me, going mad at me if I don't.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Not necessarily
you need that though, don't you?
Yeah, you do need it.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily shouting. He says it in a way. It's like guilt.
Everyone's gonna hate me. Who's this guy?
He just knows the right words. He knows what to say to get me to move myself, or to get me to sort my food out.
Yeah.
And I admit at the moment my food's all over the place and I need help, and he's probably going to get a text going, help me. And
help me.
Yeah, please. But again, surrounding yourself with the right people, isn't it? You know, whether it be a personal trainer or gym buddy or whatever, you pull each other along, and when it gets tough, it's no problem relying on other people to help you get through and navigate through whatever it is that you've got coming up. So yeah, it's all done in the right manner anyway.
a bit of guilt dropped in. You don't have to, but
it would benefit you if you did. Yes.
For your own good.
He just gets this evil look thrown at him when he says that.
Yeah.
He just ignores and he goes, get on with it.
Yeah, just get it done.
Or shut up, you energy.
Yeah, I know the boundaries. Some people I can do that with, some people I can't. It's one of them, yeah. But yeah, you get to know each other, don't you? And learn everyone's boundaries and that. So yeah, some get it worse than others.
I'm probably at the top for getting it worse.
Yeah.
Because I think there's other people that do that class who would absolutely give it you back.
Yeah.
Far more than I do.
And I don't mind that either.
Bit of banter.
Bit of a reaction.
A bit of banter.
We do have banter, but
it's all good, isn't it? Yeah. But yeah.
Definitely.
Positivity.
It's positive, isn't it?
Yeah.
All the things that can help.
Definitely.
Looking at me like that's thinking I need to start exercising again.
I do.
I was just going to say a challenge to everybody who's listening as well. Do something different this week. That's all you've got to do. That's all it's got to be. Something physical, but something different. So you might go and do 10 minutes gardening. You might go and walk around the block. You might go to the gym. You might go for a run. Whatever. Just change something this week. And then that's your first goal ticked off.
Yeah, very true.
I guess that must at times feel really hard when you're struggling with physical.
It does, but then like with the walking thing, like there's days when I thought there's no way I can go for a walk today, but then I know that night when I'm in bed I'll just get really, really bad restless legs and things like that if I've not moved. So it does do the world of good. Yeah, it might hurt while you're doing it, but I know that I'll benefit from it later on that day. So
yeah, like you say, I mean, there's other things there as well. There's like you going out for a walk. If some days you feel that's going to be too tough, then there's things like little hand bikes that you can get as well that you could just do sat at your Have you got one
I've
up
got
there?
one.
Have you really? No way.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I got it for that reason.
But
Yeah.
yeah, little handbike. You can just do it sat on your couch, or you can do it sat at the table. Just have 10 minutes on your handbike, or you can actually buy the foot bikes too that you can put on your table as well, and you can just
Yeah.
cycle away while you sat watching telly or whatever. So yeah, any type of movement like that is perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you say, it doesn't have to be massive, does it? It doesn't have to be like something
No.
huge.
No,
No.
it's just got to be challenging to that individual.
Yeah.
And if in that particular day, like yourself now, if that particular day, if that handbike is the challenge for you, then that's perfect.
Yeah.
You know, that for me is more impressive than a marathon runner going out for a mile run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no comparison there. So yeah, it's just challenging yourself and just keep pushing yourself. So
Yeah.
There we go. Something to aim for.
Yeah,
next week.
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah. We could discuss this at the group on Wednesday.
Yes,
Be a good topic.
There you go.
it would. Love to see some of the
Challenging to do
reactions.
something.
Yeah, I can imagine some of the faces.
They're quite set in the ways, some of the ladies, aren't they?
They
Bless
are,
them.
yeah.
That's it. We need to get them out of that. Yeah.
Definitely something to think about for Wednesday.
Perfect.
Right. I suppose we should let you
Crack
go.
on with your day.
Yes.
Yeah, no problem. On to the next one now. Yeah.
Something more exciting than this, I'm guessing.
Nope, just work. Just work. Bit of an early
Yeah.
finish today, so
Yeah.
ready for the weekend. We're going watching the mighty Wigan Warriors tonight, so but they're playing away in Hull. So we've got to go to an 8 o'clock kickoff.
It's gonna be a late night. And you're doing class at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
There's motivation for you.
There you go. Discipline.
You can get up in the morning now. Says me, you'll be in bed.
Yeah. You should get up and do class.
Yeah, no, thanks. Start at 7.
Practice what you preach.
Maybe next week. Next week's goal.
I'll start on Monday. That's another one. I'll start Monday.
I always say that with me eating. On Monday, I'm going to be really good. It's like, why?
There, yeah.
Because you know the weekend you're going to just eat rubbish, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
you fail before you start.
Nothing wrong with having a bit of rubbish, you know. Nothing wrong with that.
No,
Everything in
you always
moderation.
say that, don't you? Just fit it. Make sure if you want a chocolate or cake, just make sure it's in within your numbers.
Yeah, just
That's
track
how
it.
much we eat, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, nothing should be off the table as long as 90% of your diet is good. You know, real whole foods. Then the odd alcoholic drink or chocolate biscuit or whatever else, you need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't sustain it otherwise, would you, if you never had anything that you liked?
No, no. And again, we touched on, it's about staying consistent. So
Yeah.
having a diet that's 90% healthy all the time is better than, eating well Monday to Friday and binging at the weekends. So it's getting the balance right for everything. So yeah.
And on that note, we shall let you go.
Yeah,
No
thanks. It's been
problem.
lovely having you.
No, it's great. It's been
Thank you.
fantastic. Thanks for having me.
No probs. I will see you in the morning.
Yes, you will. Yes. I'll see you soon as well.
Yeah, see you soon. Thank
Take care.
you.
Thanks.
Right, thank you very much.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. And we should go as well.
Have you turned it off?